single day I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day I'm gonna make.
There we go. Hey guys, Tony the Soy Sauce Assassin. Welcome to the Saturday show. And tonight I'll be smoking Yamasa from Davidoff. And just a heads up, if you're watching this right at this moment, we're testing new system. So there might be disconnection, sound issue, blah yada yada. Alright. So I will tell you there will be issues. There will definitely be issues. And that could be anything. Status that okay, buffer overrun. Like I don't even know what's going on right now with all these issues. So we'll see. We will see. Okay. Ooh. It's working, but it's not really working. Let's just say that way. It's working, but it's not really working. Chrome is giving me a lot of shit right now. So I don't know if it's gonna work correctly or not. Alright, so there we go. Still working on this. We'll see, because right now I don't know what is giving all the issues with the memory overrun. I'm using DDR5 right now, and it's giving me some issues. But hey, Michael, are you getting on or what? Oh, you can. All right. In a while, prior engagement. Okay. All right. So I don't know if I'm had to jump in and out of the meat part because it's giving it issue, and I don't know what issue that is. Okay. All right, let me light up my cigar. Allergies bad. Raining, cold. Basement is 50 something degrees. Very cold day. But we will get started. The show must go on. Mineral, earthy. Ooh, salty too. We'll see how long before all the systems are acting up again. I know the camera is working. I have to get Steam Deck going too. If that okay, that's working too. Yeah. Okay. So we'll see if our prior arrangement people will be here today. Let me just kind of explain what's going on in the meantime. So if you're watching this episode right now, yeah. If you're watching this right now, this is what I did. I bought a brand new motherboard, brand new CPU, brand new RAM, brand new power supply, GPU, and a brand new case. So entire everything is brand new. I literally bought a brand new computer, right? The only thing I didn't buy was hard drives. So I plugged on my old hard drives, including an M.2 drive, into the system, and I ran it. And obviously, it's running in a legacy way, so the system don't like it. The system does not like this whole setup being run in a legacy setup. So I have to change this later on, or reinstall the entire window to be the UEFI format. and update this thing. So basically, Windows is not happy right now because it's running in legacy mode. But because I installed it in the legacy mode, it's gonna run in legacy mode. Okay. And I don't know why. Might be how the memory utilization is. Chrome has been crashing in a various way. I don't know what way, but various way. So during the chat, you might see like, "Oops, dead again" video, and I had to go back and forth. So until then, I think like at the end of tonight, I'm gonna try to do some changes. See if I can just do this without reinstalling. But if I had to reinstall it, I'll do it over the weekend. So next week will be ready. I just don't like to reinstall stuff because I have a lot of files on the side that I don't want to mess with. Technically, I could back it up. I just don't like to do it. So, anyways, Albert, I hope you have a cigar ready.
I do. Where's Michael?
Michael says he had prior engagement. He should show up a little later.
Oh, shit. Then I'll wait. I'll wait on the knuckle sandwich.
What the hell?
I was
yeah,
gonna
today
he got on, but he ain't on, so I ain't doing knuckle sandwich.
Today, I think technically, oh, here you go, it died again. Status access violation. Status access violation. Okay. So yeah, you gotta see crashes here and there. Let me see what the hell that issue is. Chrome crash status access violation.
I'm doing a patina Sumatra.
Here we go.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing this. Flathead something, whatever.
Oh yeah, flathead 660.
All
Oh,
right.
Flathead 660.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
This
eat
was,
some?
this was one of my raffle prizes from Christmas from Mr. Yasser Fanny.
There we go.
So
Did you eat something?
did I? I did.
You
I
did, yeah. This is a heavy cigar.
But just in case, I do have a little chocolate close by.
Cool.
So
All right, guys, I'm gonna close the browser and open it again just because it's been crashing. I don't know if that has anything to do with the Chrome itself. So I'll be right back.
okay.
Now, if I can find Chrome, where you at, Chrome? Where you at, Chrome? I can't find it. What the hell? Nope. All right, let's see. All right, let's see if that works.
Working for me.
I was missing, man. I go back
No,
tomorrow.
it's like what it does is it's been crashing, so you guys might not see anything other than me stop responding. But like the way it's crashing, I have no idea why, because it's tried to write something in the memory that's not authorized, but I didn't do any changes other than change the entire system. So what is new? Was there an event today, or is that tomorrow? Oh, that's tomorrow, right? Tomorrow. No, that's next week, May 7th. Okay, because I saw that popped up. I wasn't sure.
Ooh. There we go.
Man, somebody's pulled a switcheroo, man.
What, you got the wrong thing?
Yeah. Somebody pulled a switcheroo.
Should bring it back.
Oh, yeah. Definitely, man. What's an SLT3?
Well, talking about switcheroo, did you guys saw the picture I posted today?
I did.
Right? Is that funny? I bought I grabbed the only 850 watts for this particular brand MSI, and when I brought it to the front to scan it, they scanned it as 1000 watts. So all the tag they scanned it is all 1000 watt. Every single thing when they open the box is 1000 watt in there, but then somehow they use the 850 watts box.
Oh. Brand new box?
Brand new box, sealed.
Sealed. Plastic wrapped and everything.
Yep. So somebody at the factory, when they hold the whole stack of paper boxes after it's being printed, that they gotta slap down the label. I guess the one was just wrong, and then they feed it to the machine, fold it up, boom. It's still 1000 watt, and the way they decided to solve the problem was that since it's open, they open up to check it. Now it's an open box, so they sold it as open box and give me a discount on it at the price of the 850. So I got a 1000 watt system for for the price of 850, which is not bad. I like that. I mean, after all, it's just a box. So that was pretty good today. I did have to drive a whole hour to get it.
Oh, you did drive out there?
Oh yeah, we only have one like actual legit computer parts place around me, and that's where my college is. So I drove back to BU. Near BU, there was a place there. It still looked the same way as how it was in the 90s. It's just all parts everywhere. But yeah, that was hell. Like, I was trying to put the computer together yesterday, and obviously I was using parts that I already have plus parts that I bought new. And the only thing that I didn't thought about was whether or not the new power supply I buy was gonna fit, because I figure, buy the newest or the greatest, it should fit everything because that's what they designed it for.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I bought the one of the 5 power supply that does not fit this case. So yeah, once you plug it in, all the plug is facing a wall, so you cannot plug anything in there. Which really sucked. So I was like, you know what? I need to get this working because of my show tomorrow. And I went to grab the power supply off the old one. Now, my old system has one CPU power supply. It never had 2. Even though there is 2 plug for it. But I need the plug. Now, I could not find the second line for the life of God, because obviously once I put it away, I put it away. I don't know where the line is. So I cannot find another line. I have one line, and that's the only thing that was missing. So yeah, that kind of pissed me off a little bit, because I'm looking at the entire basement, and I found every other line but that line. So I even tried to cut a line to see if I can fit it, but nope, they made it so that there's no way to fit it. Val, you need to light that one more. Oh, here we go, crash it again. Crashed again. Clear your cache. Clear your cache. I could do that. No, I want to do it incognito, see what happens. Let's see if that'll work. Nope, that won't work this way. That won't work this way. Okay. Can I log in? Yeah, I can log in. Yep. Okay. And okay. All right,
Okay.
I tried to do an incognito, see if that works, and we'll see. We'll see. Now I just had to set this up. Video. It'll be that. Okay. And oop.
Sorry.
I don't remember how to shrink this. Hold on. Yep. No, I don't do it often, so I had to. What happened?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I remember there's a way to do this. Hold on. Nope, that's not how to do it. For what?
For I'll tell you later.
What are you trying to do?
Shrink me to the corner so that I'm not part of this
Oh.
screen. Oh, there we go. Found it.
Yeah, you take yourself out of the grid.
There you go. You're gonna see how long that lasts.
All right. Well, they sent me the wrong control. They put the wrong controller in the box, man.
Really?
The box was open. The little seal was broke.
I mean, for the items.
Wait,
for
so
the
you bought an
items
open
back
box?
today?
Snap. What the hell? All right, let me try a different browser. See if that works. Meet. Oh, Hangout. Sign in. All right. I also need my passwords. That's so weird. Passwords. Autofill password. Where is it? Hold on. Allow. Dismiss. Allow. Join now.
Change the
All right.
subject.
Trying again.
Even before I started, I'm changing it.
What? Okay, hold on. Changing video. and this and that. Okay. All right. Let's see if that works better. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All
We
right.
can hear you.
All right. So I change off Chrome. Went to Internet Explorer.
Okay.
See if that works better. I don't know because Chrome keep crashing on me. I don't know what's wrong with it.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So you bought a box that's open with the wrong controller in there.
Right. So I bought this controller,
Okay.
the DX3, which is like the you know, I won't say it's an entry level, but it's one of the lower levels.
Okay.
And when I opened it up, it had an SLT in there.
Okay.
So it doesn't have the, you see the little, it doesn't have the receiver in there, and it doesn't have on the very top. It
Okay.
doesn't have the
How does the
indicators.
box look like inside? Like, no, does it fit in there? Does somebody bought it and returned
Oh
it?
yeah, it's the same size controller, right?
Okay.
So somebody went and they took this thing out,
Okay.
they took that out, and then they took this
They,
out of the cheaper one,
Okay.
cheaper box, and then they put the more expensive one in there and paid for it and left.
they exchanged parts.
Yeah.
All right. Somebody didn't check it, I guess.
All right.
But you said when you got it was an open box, not sealed.
It I didn't notice it, but yeah, this little part was not sealed right here.
Was there a little tab tape on it?
Yeah, a little piece of tape. I didn't realize it wasn't sealed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hate those kind of situations where like you had to go back and kind of had to explain to them, and you had to hope that they will believe you that you are not the one that
Well,
swapped it.
I went in there and bought a whole new kit, a whole new setup. Like I'm getting started on it, so it ain't like you know, there's better ways of ripping them off than that. That's for damn sure.
Sure. Whatever works. Like I personally hate that situation.
Oh, I hate it too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not looking forward to it, but by the same
But that's
token,
what it is,
the guy's
though.
not going to be there. The guy's not going to be there. The guy I spoke to seemed like he's part owner of the company or the stores,
Mhm.
but I don't know.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like my problem is that people take returns and put it right back to the shelf.
Oh yeah. So this is it, bro. Hello.
Would that be within spec to have a
Yeah.
shell?
Have a what?
To have a shell, like the body, because I think a lot of
Yeah.
But that is a good brand though. I grew up with that brand. Tamiya.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
the
it's-
two that I
it's-
show you, I actually from that brand.
Well, it may not be in spec. It may be a couple inches too long because I looked this up and it's like 16 and a half inches. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what we're going to do on that.
Whatever works. Whatever works.
I mean, when you start talking 1/10 of a
Well, if
scale
they
and
measure
one-
it, then that would be a problem, right? Because you definitely want one that works. Don't
Yeah,
they
but what
have a
gets
list of
smaller than the-
approved?
No, they don't. And if they did, I would appreciate that. But no, they don't do that. But how can you get much smaller than a freaking Ford Escort?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? So
I don't
the
know
hell?
because the race that you're talking about is significantly bigger than the race that I show you. The car is this tiny for me,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you got that one is this big. So
Yeah, exactly. So
Larger scale.
yeah, so it's
Yeah.
1/10 scale, and how can you say 1/10 is your maximum? 1/10 or smaller.
No, 1/10 scale though. That means it's 1/10 of the actual car size.
I agree.
Right.
I agree. But they said 1/10 scale is or smaller. Like 1/12,
Right.
1/18, whatever. And I'm thinking, how can you kind of set the limit of 1/10 yet
Give you a maximum length.
give you a maximum length of 15 where the chassis I think is barely 15.
Well, just remove one of the bumpers. Remove one of the bumper, you'll be small enough.
Yeah, is that what they're wanting us to do? Go and whack a $50 body,
Right? Well, they just don't want you to put a limo in there.
I get that. I do. And I mean, like, I think you can say no trucks. You can say, no 4x4 bullshits,
Yeah, because the ones that we use to play, we have a track. And in each car is an individual track. So it doesn't matter how long your car is. Because actually, the bigger your car is, the heavier it is the slower it's going to run.
So you're doing slot. You're doing slot car then.
Yeah. They all have track. And it's run by just the motor. And there's no controls because it runs at a constant speed.
Right.
Right. And you can add parts to it. There's no limitation. You literally can add parts. We add front bumper, side bumper, so that even if it runs to the wall, it continues. So.
Yeah.
But there's no restriction of how long your car can be. If I wanted to add 5 different layers of front bumper, which makes no sense, I could.
Yeah. Until there's an unfair advantage somewhere, then they'll.
They don't flag it.
Yeah. So.
Anyway, look, man. I figured the state competition's already been done. So, but this is the kind of kit where they want them building it from scratch. Take a chassis, add this, add that, the components. They want them to understand the components of the RC park. That's what that accomplishes, right? So you don't really want a ready-to-race car because all you do is pull it out of the box, charge the battery, and drive it.
But that kit doesn't have that complex of thing, right? So in there should be a control module, front, back, rear axle, and maybe there's a middle rod that keep it for 4-wheel drive if you had it. And then that module drives a motor, and that motor connects a battery. That's pretty much it.
That's it. It's not. I mean, that's complicated for some middle schoolers, dude. Yeah.
Oh, that's complicated for me.
Yeah, get out of here, Val. What do you mean complicated for you? I just named five different items. You just had to slot 5 different items in.
So, like with the drone, drones aren't complicated either.
Aren't or is?
Or not.
Drone's complication is actually the programming itself, not the part.
Right.
Yeah. Because it's really just a structure with 4 fans.
That's it. Structure with 4 fans. You got some electronic speed controls in it, so it may have like a little switch.
But even that is within that motor. So it's the 4 drive motors, right? 4 individual drive motors, accelerometers, basically sensors, and then a remote control unit plus a battery.
Yeah.
Right? But the magic part of it is the programming to be able to tell the spin speed, the tilt, and adjust accordingly. That's the part. That's the magic there, right? Other than that, it's just 4 fan that was applying frost.
Yeah. But that's also the controller board that you get, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I don't know if the competition includes you have to program your own balance, which will be like 5,000 lines of code.
I don't think you do now. I think you're getting basically I guess that's what the control board does, right?
You might have a control board that does not mean has program. For example, you can get a Raspberry Pi. It's a control board.
Oh, I understand that. I get that. No, we're not doing Raspberry Pi. It'll be ones that are already kind of. It's more they want them assembling it and then practicing driving it.
Mm-hmm.
Is what they want them.
Okay.
Flying it, practicing piloting it. That's what they're really wanting them to do. They don't want them to have GPS, any kind of GPS stuff in it.
What about camera?
They can do camera and goggles if they want. Yeah,
Okay.
but they don't have to because they can spot it and
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah, because if you can control it, if you can shove some serious program in there, even if you try to crash it, it's not gonna crash it.
Right.
Right. So some of the
they're-
system will have some crazy advantage so long as the person know how to program it.
Yeah.
And when I say know how to program it, means go to Google, find the right program, copy and paste.
Yeah, I agree. That's true. So I'm trying to find a kit for the drone that's around $300 full on 300.
It's gonna be tough, but I'm pretty sure there is. I mean, Black Friday is coming up.
I mean, I'm looking at like
Labor Day
Amazon.
sale, Black Friday. Summertime, those drones are cheaper because people travel, so they start buying drones and stuff. July 4th sales.
Yeah, so what I'm noticing is that people are buying more of the prepackaged, the ones that are like DJI kind of drones.
Yeah, because they already packaged and calibrated at factory.
Yeah, they're not wanting to.
Yeah,
they're not hobbyists. They're just wanting to.
which I think is
fun to play with, fun to use it.
It makes sense though. People like our age, 40 and up, it's gotta be like I just want to buy one that I already set up. You know?
Yep.
Like I was setting up this computer, I was plugging in, I was like, what does these people nowadays doing to build their damn computer? You know, back in the day, building a computer take me like half an hour. Nowadays, it takes me 2 days. What the hell? You know, in the past, it's always shove all the parts in, install Windows, done. Now it's not like that. It bothers the crap out of me. But yeah. With the amount of money that I spent on the individual part, I could probably buy a new one, no problem. But I don't know. I like to build my own.
Well, that's because you get what you want when you put it together on your own.
Oh, you can get what you want. Like literally, the place that I go today, you can tell them exactly what you want, and they'll put it up together for you.
Oh.
And it's like while you wait, like you shop, you pay them, you walk around, you come back, it's done. But then again, I bought different parts from different area, different places. You know, being a little bit more selective. I still have to put a few more fans in here. So right now in here there is one giant fan for the CPU, one big fan in the bottom, back, and two on the bottom. I need to put 3 more on the top. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm smoking right next to it.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
if I'm smoking right next to it, I don't want the smoke to linger inside this case. So what's the best way to do it? Have more air that moves it out of it. So my previous computer does have fan that's on the top that actually draws the air out, because right next to me, like if I just reach my hand out, it's a mesh. That's the back of the computer, and it's just gonna suck all the air in while I'm smoking.
Okay.
Yeah, it goes right in.
So it's like a filter.
Yeah, I might as well put a filter there. I bought the case all black just in case it gets like all tinted. But you know, I kind of have an idea what I want to do with this computer set up this way, so that when I'm done, the side panel of this computer will have a small screen at the panel of the computer, so I can put the chat that I'm reading right here over there, so that I can save some screen space and then have on the computer. You know, just I guess give myself something to do, like some small project. If it does bother me though, it does bother me, but you know, whatever. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Man.
It is what it is. You know, you
It
want to
ain't
do a
what it ain't.
project. Gotta do a project and gotta do, you know, spend time and effort, I guess.
And it ain't what it ain't.
It ain't what it ain't. I had a dream last night. I went to sleep really late. I went to sleep about 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. I fell asleep. And I had this dream. I went to this haircut place that my wife told me to. And the guy did it like a stupid haircut. Like just zap, zap, done. Right? Barely did anything. You want to charge me $1,500 for the haircut? I was like, what the hell? I'm not paying for that shit. This is not a $1,500 haircut. It's like, what you put on my head? Freaking gold? You put an entire gram of gold in here? And I remember I was being like an asshole about it. I was like, you know what? Call the cops. I'd rather have the cop arrest me and pay the bail versus paying you.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I was like that. I don't know why I was being an asshole about it, but I was.
All right.
Were you a return customer in that dream? That's probably why.
No. My first time there. Well, else I would have known how much it costs. So, I don't know if I should click on that because it might crash my Windows. There we go. There we
You
go.
think it will?
I don't know it will. I mean, the Chrome has been crashing, so I switched it to the Internet Explorer. Bing! It's not been crashing right now, so I guess, I don't know, Chrome is acting up. So I'm looking at here.
Yeah.
DIY 2.4 gigahertz, 8 channel, version 2.3 F40. Oh, that's a lot of words. Quadcopter, 4 axle, UFO. Let's see. The entire body is all set. You just put 4 motors on there.
No, I know.
4 motors, put the fan with the gap in there, and the control board, plug it in. The end.
And then practice flying it, man.
Yeah. So that is.
They have to pick something up, right? They have to be able to pick something up and deliver it somewhere.
Ooh, those battery controllers are what, 30 amp?
Yeah.
It's a lot. The board is a very simple board too. Yeah, just input output, a couple resistors. That's it. Oh. Let me see. Number one thing to buy things on Amazon is read the review. Neat sets of parts, hard to figure it out. Make sure you know something about wiring. No instruction, videos that clear. Oh, Chinese. Out of the box, the Chinese one. Chinese factory. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, you know, it's Amazon. Get one, try it yourself. If you know works out for you, disassemble it. Now the kid can do it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
All of them just say it's bad instruction. Seriously, I don't know how much instruction you can have on this, okay? For those people who actually bought this kit, I'm looking at this kit, and I don't even know what instruction you need.
Right.
Right? It's got a brace, 4 arms, a top brace, and then you can bolt your controller on the brace, and then literally the wire only goes in one way. Right? Let me see.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, the control line is only one way. Right? Yeah. Black line, yellow line, red line. And you have... Let's see the control board. The control board is literally the same thing. So... plus, minus, and ground. That's it. Okay, now there is that adjustment. So you do have to adjust it, right? There's a pitch, there's roll, and there is yaw.
Where are you seeing that at?
At the corner of the board.
I thought you were talking about a gun.
So if you look at the board,
Mm-hmm.
on the left side where the...
That's it.
Yeah, there is 3 there, so you do have to calibrate.
Good. Good. They need to.
Okay, and it basically tells you what it is. You know, 1 turn, left turn, right turn. Yeah, I don't know what other information you need, because it literally tells you which side is what. Okay, so the left side is roll, top side is pitch, and the yard is on bottom side. So you know, 4 and 5. It's literally on the board. I mean, if you don't know how to do this, you didn't read the board. Okay, people, when you have a
read the board.
freaking board, like a motherboard, whatever, electrical board, all the data that you need is on the board. Literally the thing fits in one way. Okay, red, black, red, white, black, and it's on there.
All right, so get this. We had a group show up with for this one. They showed up with this drone. This exact drone.
That's put together already. It's put together. It's not a DIY kit, is it?
That's what they showed up with.
I wouldn't call that DIY. I mean,
they have the main PCB, right?
Okay, propeller tool. Okay, let me see. This is much more sophisticated, though. It's got propeller guard, which is great because they gotta fall a few times. Where the guard is not gonna snap the blades. But continue your story. Kit was started.
Yeah, I mean that's what they showed up with, and the guy that was running it said, "Yeah, I mean this is a put together. This is a kit. It's not a ready to fly drone. You don't pull it out of the box and start flying it.
And one of the dumbest things is they put an imitation camera on there. One of the part is imitation camera, not even a real camera. Imitation camera.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
The console was 8 propeller, which you only need 4. Makes sense because they are gonna snap. Propeller guard. 1 3.7 volt battery. USB charger. The hell is USB charger? It makes no sense, but sure.
Probably a hidden connector somewhere.
And the motor cylindrical input. I don't know what that. Okay.
Yeah, they could not manage that drone very well, so they couldn't pick up the item. Is what happened with that.
Well, that means they didn't calibrate it enough.
Or they didn't practice.
Didn't practice. I think they didn't practice.
It's one key takeoff and landing, so you don't even have to practice that.
See, it's only $32, and I just don't think this is I think the other one's more of a build drone than this, but
I think the size different too.
It's definitely a size difference. Yeah, this fits in your palm.
Yeah.
The other one's I think 5 inches, right?
Because if you look at the motor, it's those cylindrical motors not very powerful.
They're brushed, yeah, brush motors. Whereas the other one was brushless.
But the other one needs.
You could upgrade the other one.
The other one's 30 amp battery, yo. 2.3 control no GPS. Okay. Clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, for counterclockwise, depending on the color.
So I'm really thinking about just buying this and just start buying components.
And you probably could. You probably could. So.
No, this one here, what I just sent you.
I feel so weird using the Windows Edge browser thing. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be give them more flexibility, right?
But no control board though.
Oh no, you got to go and buy all that stuff separate, right?
It makes it a lot harder to calibrate because it's not the programs are set up for it. But let me see.
But you buy motors, you buy the control board.
Let me see. How much is this? 22. I will say that if I just scroll down, there is a S500. That's probably a better bet. $47, but that's probably a better one. The reasons being the board is right in the center.
It's got the little stand on it.
It's
right?
got landing and it's got the board on the center, so it's a lot easier to calibrate. Because when you have offset, it's a lot harder to calibrate. Just saying.
Yeah, good point.
With landing gear, you know, less likely to crash when it's landing. Also, small part for them to put on. Nice. And this one already they already suggest what you can have. You know, brushless motors, the wiring. Also, this called Pixar PX4 flight controller.
What'd you say?
I'm trying to see what does that mean. Okay, so they actually recommend what kind of controller to use on this one too.
Where do you see that at?
Right on the description. So it's called Pixhawk, Pix Hawk HAWK, PX4 flight controller.
So,
Where do you see that? I'm
So they
looking
give
at the S500.
so they give you recommended accessories.
Yeah,
to
if you scroll all the way
implement it?
down to like their well actually package under the package include. I don't know if this is already include this, but it doesn't look like there is.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
But-
Pixhawk flight controller. Yeah. Yeah, 189. Yeah. That's where it starts getting expensive.
Right, but if you build yours, it's a kit. You can always undo it. So, and it makes it easier to replace parts. So if something breaks, well, just replace one part. But you also need a controller. I mean, a remote.
Yeah, that's the other part.
I wonder if you can buy the same remote as that cheaper one and fit it on there because it's just a controlling board for the four thing anyway. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
This one's
Well,
got
I'm not
soldering
good.
point. Wait, this one's got soldering point, so you can actually make your own just using the soldering points.
Is it the same brand? It should be interchangeable, right?
No, they're not the same brand. That's the thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
But what it is it's just like a frame with a bunch of holes at different
Right.
spots so that you can put
Just
different.
bolt on, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at PX4. They actually have a picture of it bolt down to one of their system. And it works. Let's see, but then there's no hand control though. What do you use to control it? I don't know.
Well, you have to have you have to get a transmitter.
You know, hey, I mean, we can go on this forever. It's just not gonna end because you know this kind of stuff for me is like toy, like things I could like, you know. So
Yeah, Val's wanting to know what we're smoking.
yeah. You know, for me, I could be looking at those forever, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous for me because I'll be looking at it all day and just buy all the parts.
Well, that's what happened today. I went looking for what I needed to get, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy it. Like, fuck it.
And that's the problem. When I'm looking for little gadgets like those, or like research on one of the model and parts and stuff like that, I spend way more time doing those than research for cigars. Like, I don't know, what is the average time for me to research cigars? Probably 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? And then like when I'm looking at those things, it could be hours. And I'll reading to every single one of them and the spec and a different spec, and I'll have to watch other people's build. That will take forever.
It's just like a baiting you. It leads you to go on to one thing and keep going on to something else. So,
You know, because like
Yeah, I mean, but this thing in particular is a it's a rabbit hole that you have to kind of go down into to know what to do.
same thing with the
Otherwise-
computer, right? When I was buying these boards and the parts and stuff like that, after I bought it, while they're shipping it over, I was on YouTube watching people's build and what the pros and cons and all that stuff. Like, you know, I include also for the same series board, there are some board that went on fire, caught on fire.
Right.
Because of manufacturing error. And I was reading all those things. And when I finally got the parts, I left it on the side for a few days. Like, I was just watching all those videos. Then that's how I know things don't fit before I even put it on there, because other people tried.
Right. Well, on this little car, I started looking at YouTube videos,
Mhm.
and I'm seeing them going through freaking dirt tracks, sand tracks, and all that kind of shit.
There was at one point I was looking at remote control airplanes. You know those things that's like
Mhm.
this big. You gotta
Oh
hug
yeah,
it.
mhm.
I was looking at those things. I almost bought them. Like I think when I first built one out, the spec that I wanted and stuff like that was like $10,000 or something like that.
Holy cow.
Yeah, my wife's like, "Are you insane?" I was like, "Yeah." I have no place to fly it anyway, because you need to have like an open place, and most cities won't allow you to fly those. Because they actually fly like an airplane. They need to take off, and then and landing they also need a strip to land. Not a typical thing. Not a typical thing, but you know, that's the romance of guys. You know, this guys like toys like that.
Yeah, just shit, man.
Researching is good. Researching is, I don't know. I think that's one of the things people should treat it as a good habit, is to research. Research is great. Being able to research and take notes and then kind of come up with your own
Plan, formula.
like, you know, spec that you want to do something with. That's an amazing thing. Right? Just like when you're smoking, after you smoke, you changing the equipment, right? You're getting your lighters, you're getting a different ashtray, even though ashtray really makes no difference. You can have a freaking trash bin right next to you, and that will be an ashtray. But no, you gotta find the ashtray that fits the right height, the right weight, the
Yeah,
right material,
You're absolutely right.
right? And then you gotta, you know, the cutter had to fit the distance, how thick you cut, you know, the shape that you cut, you know, because really, let's be really honest, okay? Even if you have no cutter and no ashtray, you can still smoke. You can still smoke. Go to the sink. You can still smoke. Right? You can just, you know, pinch a hole and then, you know, and smoking it. The like one of those, in case of emergency, you really had to smoke and you have a cigar and a lighter and nothing else. Can you still? Yeah, you can. But you do all those research, you see all those people using this their different lighters and cutter and stuff like that, and you make a decision for yourself. You know what? I need those. I want my setup to be this. I want my setup to be exactly this. I want my ashtray to have exactly the right material with the same weight. You know, because I'm gonna smoke a certain area. It's gotta rain. I need my, you know, ashtray to be waterproof and won't fly away. You know, and I want my lighter to be able to light, because Massachusetts is cold. I need something that could light at even at 10 degrees Fahrenheit. And then, you know, and then you do your research. I need a tent for ice fishing to be this specific size. I'm gonna put a chair in there that will have to fit in there. I need a table. I need a mount that has a camera in front of it. That's my cigar setup. You know, and all that came from, you know, piece them together. It's not random piece them together too. It's like, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that, because
That's it.
right. So a lot of time buying everything that's pre-built, it's not necessarily good. Like when you go outside, okay, if you are a first-time smoker and you go out to buy those beginner's kit, it comes with, you know, a 10 cigar humidor, a $5 cutter, and
Lighter.
you know, like a small free lighter, and yeah, you realize that you wear out of that really quickly in a week. In a week, it's obsolete, right? But when you build your own kit, I want this lighter, I want this. Yeah, you gotta end up spending more. But that enjoyment just elevated. Right? You'll be like smoking it and looking at your gear. You're like, oh, I wonder how this works. Yeah. You'll be doing this, yeah? Instead of like, you know, the plastic cover cutter. You're like, all right, put it down. Never touch it again. I don't know. Val, do you think a beginner should go buy a beginner's kit, or just beer with it? Beer with like just bare minimum matches and you know, scissor until they can know what they want.
Yeah, I was like that. You know, you go to the cigar lounge and well, if you buy this, you get this. You know, you get the travel humidor. So yeah, you know, how many cigars? Well, it holds 5. Well, yeah, I mean, you're new, you don't know. And you get a little plastic cutter, and you get a little cheapy lighter, but you know, you're set. But then as you get to know people that are smoking cigars and you go in the lounge, then all of a sudden you see the shelves. They got this lighter, this lighter, this lighter, this cutter, this cutter, this cutter, this ashtray by this brand, this ashtray by this brand. You know, and then when you get to meet people and you go smoke with them by their house or by your friend's house, and they take out their nice looking ashtrays, I got to get me one of those. You know, where you just wait until you find out what you like and what you want, and then get what you want, because then you'll be happy with it. My problem is, you know, I get a ceramic ashtray. And well, I had 2 problems. One, it's so nice looking that you don't want to use it because you're afraid you're going to mess it up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And number 2 is because of my visual problem, I had a really nice ceramic ashtray and I didn't put it on the table enough. And I thought I did, and I didn't, and it fell like
break into a million pieces.
Yeah. And so the X amount of money that I spent on it is gone.
Right.
So I found myself, as much as I like how these, you know, so-called crystal ashtrays, porcelain ashtrays, I look for resin. I look for metal, you know, because if I drop it, it's not going to break. It might chip. It might scrape, it might crack, but it ain't gonna break into 100 pieces. Metal, I got a metal ashtray right here.
Mm-hmm.
If I drop it, it bounces. If I get a ding on it, it's still usable, and I don't have to worry about breaking it. But yeah, a beginner is just like when you start learning about cigars and you don't want nothing heavy, you don't want anything medium. You got to smoke something light. You got to start out with this one. Try this one, and I believe that for a long time, you know, until I get to smoke with James and Jeff, and they're telling me, well, you know, sometime or another you got to start going to something a little bit more bolder or stronger or heavier. So, you know, you try one and you back off on it and go light and try it again. You go back off, before you know it, you're developing your cigar palate and you're smoking a little bit heavier cigars and stronger cigars. And yeah, but yeah, I wouldn't get the beginner kit. I would not get the beginner kit.
Albert, what do you think? You think that beginner cigar smoker first time I should go out and buy a beginner kit?
No,
No?
no.
No.
The cigar smoking shouldn't be that hard.
True.
So you should be able to go in, use the fucking house lighter, use the house cutter.
And I think out there right now, they actually talked about this, right? It's like also every store talk about 70-70, and that myth has been broken for years now, right? The reason they use 70-70 is because there was no any other way to gauge any other way. The only way to gauge was they only have that solution that actually happened to be 70%.
It was just a guide, but they tell you that too. It's a guide.
Right? It's a guide because that's the only way you can gauge it. Like, you know, all the solution that you use is based on 70%. So they give you 70%. They tell you to do 70% because that's the one thing that you can control, 70%. But now you have so many different equipment, you can go 60%, 65. Like I have what I smoke normally, about 60%. I have things that I don't smoke normally at 45. Because I think that age is better. Because you want the surface oil. You don't want that excess water. You don't want to be smoking steam. You want to smoke smoke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? And also, like, equipment-wise, I feel like even though I have a lot of them, I tend to go back to the same one. For example, I have a lot of ashtrays. I probably have 20, 30 ashtrays. But I always end up using this one. The one from my clock. It's just the right size, the right height, the right weight, that even though I have other ones, I end up going to use this one. Like I just bought the Warfighter one not long ago, right? The one that's like metal.
Yeah.
And it's just so heavy, I don't want to carry it around. So I still use this one. I don't know. Like when you have the right one that feels right, you'll always use that one. Even if you have the other ones. So on my other one, it does be just display.
And it happens a lot to, I'm sure it happens to a lot of people. To buy an ashtray, or if you're lucky and you go to an event and you win one, you know, well, you may not use it because it's a winning and it's a supposedly a special prize, and
Right.
you don't want to mess it up, so you just keep it for display.
Like a couple years back, we've been buying the Andalusian Bowl ashtray. I used it twice and I put it away. It's so big, it's not, and it's heavy. I don't want to carry it around. This thing, I can drag it around everywhere. Easy. I don't know. The rest I just collect. I actually think this size, this ashtray is probably the best one here. My clock made. So, because he made two in the beginning when we first asked for it. He made two for me. I have one for my brother and one for me. Right here. That's the original one. You can tell it's the original one because it doesn't have the Shadow Smoke Legion logo in there. And he sent me another one because this one cracked. But I use this to death. I use this one to point the crack. So.
Yeah.
But this
Where's
one.
everybody?
Say that again?
So where is everybody, man?
I don't know. Saturday. I think Josh have that like drinking event thing or like a kid that he was doing. So. But yeah, and the beginner kit with the humidor, you outgrown that.
Oh.
Right? You outgrown that in a second. Like, you know, the moment you say, I want to fill this up, it's filled.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
Okay.
And I use me for an example. So I currently have 1, 2, 3 wooden humidors, 1 ceramic humidor, and then like one of those refrigerator types.
Okay.
Okay.
One door.
So I have my cigars spread out in all of them. Okay. So when I go to my refrigerator type, I open it up, kind of looks empty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But with the ceramic one, you really don't have to use it as a humidor because it looks more like a display.
Sure.
Okay. So, but with the wooden ones, you're kind of obligated to use them. Okay. Because that's what they're for.
Okay.
And, if to get the best, what do they say? For them to work effectively as a humidor and for your cigars, it has to be at least 50% to 2/3 full all the time.
Right.
Okay, so I got three wooden humidors. I got to use them. Otherwise, what's the point of having them?
I used to put cigars I forget about.
Well, yeah. So I figured out a way how to use them effectively for me. So I got one wooden humidor is cigars that I'm going to pass out to people that come over, and I know they're not really cigar smokers.
Okay.
Okay, so I have my inexpensive cigars in there.
Okay.
In another humidor, I have better cigars. And in my other wooden humidor, I have it divided into 3 layers.
Okay.
Okay. One layer, a certain brand. The next layer, a certain brand. And then the very bottom one is where I keep my really good stuff. Okay.
Okay.
And then with my refrigerator one, I just fill it up. Put whatever I got put in there. So that's how I kind of control my wooden ones.
Well, if they're not outfilled, you're not buying enough cigars.
Exactly. So my wife says to me, well, don't you have enough cigars? And I said, no, I don't. So I take her to my refrigerator one. I said, take a look. And I open the door. She goes, yeah. I said, well, look, I open it for a shelf. Look there's only like 14 cigars in the top shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Open up the second shelf. Look there's only like 20.
Okay.
Third shelf, same amount. Fourth shelf, same amount. I said, so you see, I got a lot more room. I got to fill these up. Then, of course, she says, well, what about those over there? I said, no, we're not talking about those. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Those are taken care of. I said, I'm talking about these here.
Because you can't fill those up completely. You're not supposed to.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to fill up the wooden one completely.
No.
I had this one since 2011. 2011. And this one, originally, it was actually a wood, you see, wine cellar? I don't know if you can see it. This is actually a wine thing.
A wine door?
This is actually a wine fridge. I just don't plug it in because the wine fridge cannot go cold enough. Well, actually, no, warm enough. Wine fridge goes to 30 degrees. So it's too cold. So I just never turn it on. I just put cigars in there. Put shelves, cigars in there. But I had this since 2011. And I have another one upstairs. That's actually when I purchased it. I think that was when Tim did a review on forgot the brand.
Well, it would either be New Air, New Air Audu, or
I bought a New Air, the one with the heat and cold, and that one seems to give me more trouble than not, like because the temperature fluctuates, it turns on and off and on and off. So that one's still running, and eventually I'll bring it downstairs and unplug it as well. But I think unplugging it is actually good because all I wanted to do is keep moisture, the humidity in there, and the temperature in the house is regulated through the house.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, with that being said, with your wine door there, don't you have to open that door, every so often to let some fresh air in and the other
No,
air
you don't
out?
want the fresh air in. You want the air to be in there the same all the time.
Well, I thought you had to open it up, like at least once a week.
Well, if you're smoking it, it definitely open up at least once a week.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're using it that way, yeah, but I mean,
I do open it up and to check the beads that I use for humidifying.
okay, well, beads.
They're gel.
Yeah, you don't use the square packets. I'm not going to mention the brands, but you don't use the square packets.
So I fill this up. This is gonna hold much more water than this. And I put this on top so that any excess was being carried by this. The packs.
Yeah.
Right. So I have multiple, each shelf has a small pack. Each shelf has a pack. You
And
see?
the beads work well for you?
Oh, the beads just replenish the humidity. Because the beads will constantly release. It doesn't stop. The bead doesn't absorb. The bead just release. Right? So you need something to catch it. So I put one per shelf, it will catch excess. And I just keep it closed. And what I
Okay.
will do is check it every so often, make sure there's nothing molding, because it will still mold. Right? It's organic product, it will still mold. So I check it, make sure it's not molding. Okay, put it back.
So now, if your beads mold up, you dump them out. And
Dump them
get
out
brand-
because the beads are super cheap. You can buy an entire can of like a freaking million beads for like $30 or $10, some of them. And all you need was like a handful. That's it. A handful will give you an entire container. Yeah, let me show you an
They
example.
Fall up when you add the water
Let me show you an example.
or the liquid.
For the big one, I do the same thing, right? I put pack in every shelf. And I fill the beads in one of these containers. So I just keep it open and I leave it on the side. And then just give out for humidity. Because this one, some will leak out. I opened this one way more, right? So I want the bottom, one the top. And every shelf has a small pack that will absorb the excess. In fact, it works so well that majority of the time when I check it, it's never too much water, it's actually less. The pack dries up.
Oh,
The pack dries up. And then I'll just fill water. So I have a bottle of distilled water here.
okay.
Every so often I fill more water in it. In fact, I'm thinking to change these light to black light to ultraviolet lights, or like, you know, those yeah, they're ultraviolet. And it will still be light, but it kills bacteria. My only problem with ultraviolet light on tobacco is it will cause the tobacco to fade. That's why I haven't done that yet. Because I don't want my cigar to fade. It will kill the color on like Maduro and stuff like that. It will start to fade out. Or be spotty. So like the top of the shelf of cigars, you have a lighter color than the bottom because it's exposed to ultraviolet light. But ultraviolet light kills beetles, it kills mold. So I just had to figure out how I'm gonna do that. But that's the thing I want to test out. Like if I have a full environment of ultraviolet light, would that never mold?
But the light stays on all the time?
No, just when I'm down here. You don't want ultraviolet light to run all the time. Because you gotta know the air is stale. So if I don't open, nothing's growing in there. Right? So if I'm gonna open it, I definitely turn on the light so I can see in there. And given that I'm here, at least at this spot, 2 hours, twice a week, that means the ultraviolet light is running 2 hours, twice a week, minimum.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I think that's a lot to put on a cigar. Another problem was that ultraviolet light runs hot. So I don't want to just cook the cigar.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a project that I have to do more research to know what I want to do about that before I can act on it. And I don't know if I want ultraviolet lights right where the corner of my eyes the whole time. I don't know. Feels like going to a rave party. But yeah, research, getting all the information. That's when you decide what you want to do with it. You know, that's like, is it worth it? Is it, you know, worth the thing? Cause I have to redo this this container already. This is full. I cannot put any more in here. I'm talking about like 99% full. Before you went on, I was like trying to get cigar. I opened this thing, the cigar fall out. I have another shelf right in front of me, the setting of this, but three doors now in the front, because I know I'll end up getting more cigars. I need more room. So, yeah, I'm like in a predicament. It's like, where am I gonna put all my cigars? But that's what it is, right? This is why people say before you get a humidor, think about how much you want and get 3 times as much space. So if you feel like one day you gotta have 500 cigars, you need space for 1,500 cigars.
Yep.
Okay.
You don't overfill it.
Okay.
That way, all your room will be about, you know, at least about half full by the time you just keep replenishing it. But the thing is that if that's what you're expecting, 500 cigar, and you end up getting a 1,500 cigar room, you'll probably go to 3,000 cigars. Because if you're someone that will keep cigars, you'll go over 500 cigars really quick. Unless you smoke like Greg.
Oh my God.
If you smoke like Greg, you don't have to worry about that.
Greg's a smoker, dude.
Yeah. If you smoke like Greg, you don't have that worry.
You're talking about the cigar keyboard man, right?
Right.
Greg Nicholson?
Yes. So if you smoke like Greg Nicholson, 10 cigars a day, yeah, I don't think you have that problem.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But average
and
smoker.
Here's the other thing that I learned about cigar humidors. That for some reason, I think that they are not made for what they should be made for, and this really should be taken into consideration. They should be made for the length of a Lancero. Okay? So when you lay your cigar down in your humidor, you lay it down like this.
Mm-hmm.
You have enough room to come across.
Right.
If your cigar doesn't fit this way, then you have to lay it this way.
Right.
Which is okay, but then you have a lot of empty space on one side or on both sides.
You know, when you have Lanceros, you should get a separate humidor for that. And the humidor tends to have a divider, and you'll divide it up to the point of the Lancero. Sideways. Reason being, Lanceros are really thin and tightly packed. You don't really want to put cigar on top of it.
Right.
Right? So, Lancero, I don't think a lot of people smoke it. But if you do have Lancero, I keep my Lancero in the original box. Because there's velvet and all that, and it feels, you know, it's just fine. But I don't feel like you should pack the Lancero all the way in the bottom.
No,
and it's harder to get out of it too.
See, yeah, but the problem with the boxes is they take up space.
They do, but they also protect your cigars.
Well, yeah. You know, I mean, unless you have like, if you just want to dedicate, like your wineador, you take all your shelves out and you dedicate it just for boxes.
Well, I'll give you another example, okay? Give you another example. Nothing is stopping you to take the insert out of your Lancero box and use it to just store the Lanceros.
Yes, that's true, but it's like you said in the beginning. You got those nice individual slots.
Right, but if your point is not to protect the cigar individually, then you can take out that and put it in there and maximize your space.
Yeah.
Right? A typical shelf, right? You can get a shelf like this. It has a divider.
Yeah.
And you can get these the same length as the same width as Lancero if you want to. But obviously, you can get any size you want, right? This size particularly was made for this one, so it's narrow.
Right.
But if you get a regular size one, they're much wider.
Right.
You can put Lancero straight, no problem. And you can fill it all the way to the top if you want. And it's not gonna take up as much space as a typical Lancero box because now you can stack them. But here's the thing, you have to stack them. The question is, do you want to stack them? I have a lot of these shelves. Like, I have a lot of these shelves.
See, those have sides on them, right?
They do have sides.
Okay, so I would call them a drawer.
Yeah. You can call them a drawer.
I mean, yeah, they're designed as a shelf because you slide them in and out. That's what they're for, like a shelf in and out.
Mm-hmm.
But because I like them because they have a front, sides, and a back. So if you just have the shelf, your cigar could fall off the back.
Which you can get clips on the end of it. I don't have one to show you, but upstairs, because the fridge only have literally just a flat space, right? Right. And when you pull out, everything falls to the side, everything from the back just falls down. So what I did is I print edgers, just literally a stick with a clip like an L, and I just click to the side, and I put two on each side so they don't fall off, which you can do.
Yeah.
You just kind of have to extra effort, but you can do them. I constantly modify my thing just to get more space or get better storage, something like that. But if I keep adding 10-15 boxes a year. they fill up really quickly. So in a way, package is like these now makes so much sense. The 601s, something like this. If I have all of them like that, I should be able to put them somewhere. Like, for example, I can put it this way. Not this way, but I can put them in this way.
Yeah.
And I can see the band color. I know what it is. I can just pull them out and get the cigar out. Yeah, and in a way that makes sense. Oh, it's gonna fall. It's gonna fall. Don't fall. Get in there.
The Great Escape.
It's my box of Davidoff. Just gonna try to get out. So yeah. Oh. What? Oh, no cigars in here. Whew. I left this out for a while. I don't even know if there's a cigar in there. Too many cigars around. I have a cigar on the floor, on the sides, in the humidors. Yeah, you will run out of space. All those on the top are full. This one's full, that one's full, that one's full. That one have majority of the Fu Manchu still in there. All of those are full.
So the other dilemma that I ran into, and I still have, is buying singles.
Buying singles.
Lucy's.
Yeah, Lucy's. Because you buy them, you smoke them, and they're gone. and it seems like that you don't have any. Whereas when you buy a box, okay, you know you have a box of them, you can smoke one. The next day you can grab and smoke another. Next day you can grab and smoke another one.
Mm-hmm.
But when you buy the singles, even though you may buy 20 singles, once you smoke that single, it's gone. And you can't go back and get another one because you didn't buy two. You know,
But you said even if you buy 20 singles.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but 20 different singles, not the same.
Okay. But the point of buying the single is because you want to try the taste to see whether or not it's worth your money to get a box.
Well, here's the thing: you can't just buy one; you got to buy two.
But buying two is running the same problem too.
Well, yeah, but if you buy two and you smoke it and you like it, well, you know you got another one there. You know you want to get more, okay? And you can smoke it again if you got two.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got one, and if you don't like it,
you didn't lose that much money.
No. It's not lost money. It's a transference. It's because it's going to be transferred out of this humidor to the other humidor. So it's still going to be used.
Okay.
But it's not going to be used by me.
Okay.
Okay. But I don't know. I just feel like I'm at the point where I'm going to, and maybe other people have gone through this. Well, you buy one, you buy two. I'm going to buy a 5-pack. If you buy a 5-pack, then you're really in trouble because if you don't like it, then you got 4. Okay.
Can't always give it away.
Exactly. But the same thing goes with a box. If you buy a box, you smoke it, you don't like it. Well, there's 19 going over there.
I can tell you I run into that problem a lot. Buying a box and they end up not liking everything else, right?
How many's in a box?
20.
Oh, yeah. How many is in a box, Tony?
20.
Okay, so look it. We have discussed this.
Yeah, we figured this out.
And we figured out that there should be a new level
The communication.
of identification of a box.
But that's the thing though. Some bucks are not 20. Some bucks are 18.
Okay, no. Listen, you gotta hear him out. You gotta hear him out.
This is what was discussed.
You
Okay.
come up with.
This is what we came up with.
The new industry standard
That's
is
right.
coming about.
We're setting a trend here.
Mm-hmm.
Terminology.
That's right. So from now on, you're no longer going to buy, or if you buy, example, a 5-pack, it is no longer going to be considered a 5-pack. If you buy a 10 count, it is no longer going to be considered a 10 count.
Okay.
You know, and I realize and I understand that certain boxes will come in a 16 count box, a 21 count box,
Okay.
24, 25. So to remedy that situation, we have determined, or at least we have brought it up in discussion, and I think it's a pretty good outcome that we can now, instead of refer at 5-pack, as a 5-pack, instead, we will now call it
Quarter box.
quarter box.
Quarter box.
A quarter box.
A 10 count box is called a half box.
Half box.
Okay. What about 18 count?
18 count is going to be a three quarter box plus.
Plus 3.
Val, you do
If
know.
you get a 20, if you get a 21 count box, it will be considered
A box plus
one box plus one.
Okay.
Hey,
Perfect.
that could be universal. That will work.
But you
That
do
works.
know, 5-pack is not normally sold, right? A lot of places actually don't sell 5-packs.
Wait a minute.
It's all right.
Have you not noticed but a gradual shift in the cigar dynamic marketing where they are now coming out with more 5-packs.
Yeah, but that's more for you to sample. It's considered a sample pack.
Oh, it's
All right.
considered a quarter sample box.
Quarter box.
Quarter box.
Okay.
Now I
But
understand.
you just made it more complicated.
No,
No.
I didn't.
No, it didn't.
Now I understand there could be a little bit of confusion with that terminology because
It's not. It pays homage. It pays homage to the 20 count.
that's right. And the other thing is, I understand that if it comes in a pack, you really can't call it a box
You really can't. No.
Right.
because it's coming in a pack.
Mm-hmm.
But you could call it equivalents. Equivalent.
Okay.
Quarter box.
I think that, you know, in your situation, if you decided to buy 4 or 5 packs at that day, they will have give you a hat anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. We know that because you're equal box.
Right.
Yeah. So it works.
But a box is still a box. A pack is not necessarily a pack. Right?
No, it's
Like
not.
some boxes have
It's a quarter
25.
box.
Some boxes have 25.
So there'll be a
1
box and a quarter.
box.
So what about if I buy 5 different cigars? Is that a pack? Is that a quarter box?
Those are singles.
Oh, they're singles then.
Yes.
Okay.
No. It depends on the shop you go to. That might be a quarter box.
Well, that's true. And if they're in the same brand, you conceivably can say yes, it counts as a quarter box.
Sure.
But there's shops that if you buy 20 different cigars, they'll consider that a box.
Yes.
So you're losing out. If their standard box is 18, now you had to get a box, you had to get 4 or 5 packs.
No,
No.
you would still get a 3/4 box plus 3.
No,
Yeah,
because
that's it.
if they say you gotta buy a box, you wouldn't buy a 3/4 box plus 3. You gotta buy
That's
a
true,
box.
Because it is not a box.
But if they
What?
call that a box, that's a box.
No, it's the vernacular of a box.
But to his
Terminology.
point, if they're not going to give you a hat anyway for an 18 count, so yeah, it's a 3/4 box plus 3.
I don't know. That's gotta be a weird one because if you go buy a TV, different size, you have to call it now quarter box of a TV.
It's a weird one. But
Because
Yeah.
the reason why they call those odd number, like whatever to a box, is because also to set the price.
no, it's
Right.
3 levels.
The reason
Yeah.
why they want to set 10 count boxes because 10 count box price range is to an
I agree.
acceptable range.
I agree, but we're calling those half boxes.
That's right.
But once you call it half box, it defeats the point of them setting that price. Now you actually make it feel more expensive.
That's fine.
It gives you the
Consumer rights here, man.
allure.
No, but you're killing the advertisement. For example, all right, if you're buying a box of Oro Blanco, it's $5,000.
Yep.
They only have 10 in there.
Half box.
So
Half
you
box.
start calling those half boxes, people is gonna go, that's more expensive. That's expensive because I'm only
Yeah.
getting half box for $5,000.
Yes.
That's
yes.
right.
Yes.
And this is why industry will never do that because
It's in the-
it kills that price setting.
You know
tool.
what?
No, it's an expensive half box. That's all it is.
This is grassroots. It
But
pays
why
homage-
if they never made a 20 count? If they never made a 20 count,
No, but they did.
Well, wait a minute. Well,
They
who
did.
said
They did,
think-
and the whole standard for swag seems to be centered around the 20 count.
no, there are
So
some
we're following-
cigars that are just not meant to have 20 boxes.
So we're following suit is what we're doing.
Right? There are some cigars that they never made a 20 count.
Yeah, like Perdomo, 24 count.
Right? The example Oro
plus
Blanco,
4.
you cannot buy a 20 count. You have to buy 2 10 count boxes.
yes,
Is that
2
boxes?
half boxes to equal 1 box?
Right. See, it works.
So
See-
are you expecting them to give you half a box too?
No,
It's half
how they
box. I just
package
give you the
half
bottom. I
box-
won't give you the lid.
No, how they package the half box is up to them.
No, because if I knew that I had to sell it as half box and you no longer consider it as a box, I'm not even gonna put it in the box.
Wait a minute here. Here's the thing, which you just proved my point. So I am right, and I'm right. I'm right.
It's
You
a
just
10
told
count
me a 10
box.
count box
And
is
if
not
you
a
gotta
box.
no, It's a 10 count box. I can still call that a box, not a full box, but still a box in my standard. Let me finish. 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 Right? So if I knew the industry is now gonna call that as half box or 10 pack, I'm not even bothering putting a box on it.
Okay.
Even if I never made a 20 count.
That's okay.
That's not true because you would buy it if it looked good.
No, but then like you're not gonna count that as a box.
It's
Why
not
put box on
as a
it?
box.
Why
You
put
don't.
box on it if if it's not a box?
Because they don't. That's the thing. That's the whole point. They started this bullshit by not giving him the hat.
But not hey, but then that's only one company, right? That's only one company.
That seems to be across the board.
That seems to be across the board.
We've asked
No.
people.
When I go out there and I buy stuff that comes with swag, they will tell you that you can buy either 20 count
No.
or equivalent.
It's gotta be,
For me, it did. I'm telling you, for me, it did.
I get it.
Was it advertised that way?
Yeah. I don't buy Jewel Estate, so whatever Jewel Estate thing is them.
No, I'm just saying it didn't matter what company it was. It just happened to be Drew Estate at this time, and they.
So you think that whenever Casa Cuevas advertise, they'll tell you that they're not gonna tell you that it's actually a 20 count.
They're gonna give swag based off the 20 count. Oh yeah.
But they will
Yeah,
tell
they
you
will.
based on a 20 count.
But maybe.
Because they made their real boxes 20 count.
Depends on who's doing the flyer, doesn't it? Right?
Wait a minute.
And you brought up Casacuevas,
Casa Cuevas,
and he's the
the
one
downgrade.
and he supported it. He told Val, you're right and you're wrong.
No,
So-
but that's the thing. What I'm saying is the ethic in advertising. Whether or not they tell you it's equivalent to a 20 count.
Oh, I understand that, but we're beyond that now.
No, we're not
beyond
beyond that because you're taking someone else's mistake
Oh.
to say everybody will do this false advertising. Everyone would.
Of course they do. Yeah, they do.
Look
They
at-
absolutely do. They do not. I will tell you now. They do not put the little fine print of we consider boxes 20 counts. No, they don't do that.
They don't.
I've seen equivalent of 20.
Okay, that's rare. That's rare.
When I went in,
But also, you should talk to the guy, right? You go in there and they'll say, "This is the deal we're running today." And I
We're
can
not-
tell you
we
that.
we're not.
Hold on.
But-
I can tell you that Brendan has always tell people, you buy a box or equivalent of 20, you get the deal.
Hey, no, but here's the thing. You don't have to go in and pre-negotiate. No.
You don't,
It's
but
gotta
if I
be-
go into a shop that have advertised or something, I will ask.
No,
we ain't gonna ask. You
No.
got signs all over the place that says buy a box and you get this.
Yeah,
You
if
got
you-
it on the
All
display
right, here it
table.
goes. Here it goes. Val, I understand you don't buy a lot of cars, but have you ever go to buy a car based on a flyer?
we're not talking about cars. We're talking about cigars.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
tell me
ever
in
bought-
an example.
You,
Yeah, but the
yeah,
example,
you
the
do.
example is an orange.
Because you see the
We're talking about
advertisement.
apples.
Right. But when you go buy a car based on a flyer, you'll never get that deal.
Okay, but we're talking. Those are oranges.
So you go
We're
there,
talking
they'll
about
explain to you how that deal works.
apples. Yeah,
That's why they have a rep there. They have shop owners there. They will explain to you.
I understand, but I'm saying.
But you cannot tell me that
After. Yeah,
afterwards.
right.
If you
it's
tell
up
me
to-
this, if you tell me this at the time, just before I'm paying for it, that hey, you know what, you only get the items if you get a 20 count equivalent or 20 count box or equivalent of 20 count box.
Okay?
But don't let me pay for it. Give me my stuff in the bag. Give me my receipt in the bag, and I'm waiting for the swag.
No, you can
Wait a
just
minute.
not pay for it. You're like, I don't want that then. If I'm not getting a hat, I'm not paying for it.
No, you already paid for it.
You
I
can
already
still
paid
return
for
it. You didn't touch it yet.
That's
Uh,
I could have done that, but
Eh,
you know what? I think my resolution.
a lot of times.
I mean,
they're
I tell you
returning.
what, if
I'm
lot of times
playing
when
the advocate here, okay? Because you
a
guys
lot
have a
of
point of
times-
view. I'm playing the advocate here,
A
right?
lot of times
I'm playing the advocate of the business side, right? As
I
a
get it.
as a business side, that will never fly because I know that I'm judging things based on box. And in fact, if you do that way, I just make a 10 count more expensive.
Well, then you do that, and I'll go shop somewhere else. But
If
You,
you
you can shop somewhere else, but doesn't matter where you go. The 10 count is gonna be the same price now, right?
no,
well,
no.
as a result of that, I did start questioning. I did start asking at these other cigar lounges that they have an event.
Yeah.
You know, I said, hey, listen, how do you get the swag? What do you got to do to get the swag?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
what's the
Yeah.
requirement?
But now you
They
become an
should make that
educated
clear
consumer.
ahead of
Now
time.
you're an educated consumer, right?
Yeah, I'm educated because I got
Right. But changing the rule isn't gonna get everybody to educate.
I don't know.
Right?
Well,
that in fact that's gonna make everybody to buy 20 when the requirement is only 18.
I don't know.
Instead of buying 4 boxes, now I had to buy 20 because I had to buy 4 or 5 packs.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
what bothered me was that it said buy a box.
No, what bothers you is that you got tricked by one false advertising.
No, it's not just one. It is prolific.
No. I'm saying how many times that Val got tricked.
Yeah.
Oh, only once because of that.
Right. So you became an educated consumer based on that one, and then you are having an issue. You want to change the entire industry based on one false advertising.
Well, let's not say I got educated. Let's say I got burnt, and then I learned.
Right. But you'll never get tricked again.
I never again.
Yeah. By having it trick like this, I'm pretty sure that there's got to be other way to trick around that.
So
Now you make it even more complicated.
well, I'm just saying that there's another way to address the understanding of a box.
Yep.
Okay.
Like when sale used to be normal, like it's very easy. It's like whatever price is whatever, because somebody say, hey, it's not clear enough. Now they had to put the lowest price of the item that they got on sale. So now you start to see the starting at blah.
Yep.
And now you go to the store, you have one item at that price and nothing else at that price because somebody decided to go change the rule.
Yep.
So they can say to get this starting at 4 or 5 pack or 4 quarter boxes starting at, and now you can be any number.
Well, yes, that's true, but at least it's defined.
No, but then that define is still not clear. It's in fact it's even more muddy now because I say starting at, and I can say any amount. If you buy 4 pack of this, quarter box of this, it's actually not 4 of this to make a box. It's starting at, so you had to get 5 boxes instead, 5 quarter box instead to make that amount. You see? You change one rule at that they had to go other way to make it more murky so that they can run their advertisement because you just ruined their price structure.
Well, they fucking deserve it, man.
Right? You ruin the price structure, then I had to make it more complicated so that I can run the price I needed for this particular event. So I just starting at.
But they deserve it, man.
Well, I would tell you this much, that I was so upset with that you know, and it's not like, I mean, it's not the closest lounge to me, but it's a lounge that I did like to go to. I met a lot of people there, and I would go to all the events. Every time they had an event, I would go there up until the point that happened. And then once that happened, I did not go there. I was so upset. I was so disappointed. I was so frustrated that and I'll just use just a random number,
Mm-hmm.
okay? That when I go to that event, I'm dropping $100.
Okay.
Okay. So they have an event every month. So out of 1 year I go to their event, I'm spending $1,200. So now they lost $1,200 for the year. I'm only one person.
Mm-hmm.
They may not mean nothing to them. But when I go and I'm not a true so-called regular, okay, I like to consider myself as I'm the bonus guy.
Okay.
I'm the bonus money. I'm the money that you're getting that you're not usually getting. I'm the bonus guy. So I got so upset. I told my friends who were smokers.
Okay. And they lose more sale because of that, yeah.
They would go there. So now they've got, I know I told more than 10 people. Let's say 10 people. That did go there. And they stopped going there until I started going back. They stopped going there. So now they lost, $10,000 a year. Because every time I went to an event, they would meet me there. So, maybe our money didn't mean that much to them because it's only one person, but me being the one person told another person, told another person, told another person. So now they not only lost 1,200, now they lost 10,000 just from 10 people. And if they told other people, there's another 1,000. So your business lost, and we'll just use a nice small number. Your business lost $25,000 for the year because of me.
And I agree, but the thing is that the shop don't run the event. The rep does.
No, well, they don't. But they don't run the event, but they're a big part of the event because they're hosting the event. They're helping.
That's kind of different. No, that's kind of different. That's kind of different. So the rep comes in with the swag, right? The rep has the swag. The shop don't own the swag.
Right.
So the rep had to make a certain amount of money for those swag to make sense because the rep has that money, has those swags.
Right.
The shop doesn't have that.
Right.
So you're technically blaming the shop, which is false. I'm pretty sure that they have something to do with it. Of course, I agree, right? But playing the advocate, the shop really have no power in that, technically, because it has to do with the rep.
Okay, so let me tell you something else then.
Mm-hmm.
Same shop, different brand. I'm not going to tell you the brand because I don't want.
That's fine.
Well, I could probably tell you the brand. There's no sweat off of me. But anyway, this brand, they promoted an event. And this was at the end of the event. Hey, you're going to be here next month and this date at this time. We're having this event coming out here. This brand is going to be here. We're going to have raffles. We're going to have prizes. You're going to get great deals. So
are we talking about the one where the guy didn't show up and nothing was happening and didn't tell anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, again, that's had to do with the rep because the owner don't run the event.
Okay, that's true. But as a result of that, people are in limbo.
Right.
We're there. We're wondering, and I didn't see any great deals.
I'm not saying I don't agree with you, but think about the situation like that, right? So if rep doesn't show up the first 30 minutes, you probably text them as a shop owner, right? Like, where you at? And the guy might say, I'm almost there. I'm going to try to make it, traffic, whatever. An hour later, text him again. Oh, I'm really soon. Hour and a half later, the guy says, I don't think I'm going to make it. But you're already an hour and a half in. People's already there. Why you got to kick them out? So, I'm trying to play devil's advocate here. I'm not saying that I don't agree with you. I agree with you. As a customer, I will be angry, right? But there's only so much the shop can do. The shop isn't going to try to lose money because a rep fucked it up. Right? Obviously, the shop would love to make more sales. If they know that because people are not buying anything because they're waiting for that sale. But people are already having their time too. They're hanging out with their friends. Why are you going to tell them to get out? We're not going to have it.
Okay, so you being the shop lounge owner.
Okay.
Tony, you're the lounge and shop owner.
Mm-hmm.
Same brand, 3 events in a row. This happened.
Okay.
Not only did this happen, you were never called. You were never notified. You text, you called, whatever you had to do to try to communicate, you never got a response.
Right.
And yet you're still going to have another event.
But you can't reject them. Because if they do show up, that's money. You don't want to have beef with brands, especially reps.
Well,
Because that will equivalent to you not being able to get the cigars that you want in the future too.
if you had,
That's catch-22. I agree with you. You know, it's stupid. And me as an owner, I probably would never carry that brand again.
So here's the other thing. You've got on the outside patio area, you've got 85 people.
Okay.
And the inside in the lounge, you've got another 35 people.
Okay.
Okay. And you have nothing.
Right. I understand in the customer point of view is bad, but that 100 something people over there are hanging out, are smoking, and probably picking out singles, waiting for the guy. That's still money. You're not gonna kick them out because somebody didn't show up.
So you as the owner, how are you going to appease me?
There's nothing you can do. I mean, let's say, for example, what you gotta do? Say that, okay, since the guy didn't show up, I'm gonna run my own deal and give everybody 25% off.
You want to make money? No, I'm not asking for 25% off.
Okay, so everything else I already market to the point that I won't lose money. And you're expecting me to lose money because a rep didn't show up.
Well, that's between you and a rep.
Right, but the rep isn't gonna replenish me.
Well, okay, so.
Well, you don't know that.
Oh, I know
So,
that.
well-
Rep is never gonna put the money out to your pocket. No.
No, I mean they're gonna put the money out to the pocket, but they need to understand the effect it can have on people.
Well, if you have a good rep, sure. But if you have a shitty rep and you are at the mercy of the rep distributing to you, yeah. And the only thing you can really do is can I have a different rep? And if they say that's the only rep we have the region, then you're fucked.
Yeah, you're fucked. I get that.
Right? So as the owner, you're probably stuck between a hard place and a rock.
Excuse me. Yep.
Right? And I understand it's not good. And if I am the customer, I'll be pretty pissed off about it. I'll complain to the owner. But there's not much owner can do.
No, you know.
And the owner cannot just discount every other brand just to appease that, right?
No. I'm not saying to discount every other brand. I'm saying that, and
the reason when they run the event, right? The rep bring additional cigars, and those cigars will be sold to them at that price. They're able to take that discount. So let's say the discount was 25%, right? That means that cigar before it gets to me, it's already discounted to a point where I can say it's 25% off. Not they didn't take 25% off the top. They take 10% from the product I get in. So the dealer essentially is still giving you 10% discount, but because when they got the product in, it was cheaper, that equivalent to a 25% discount. So they cannot just take my current stuff that I have right here and says, okay, since the rep is not here, I'm still gonna give you 25% discount. That means he's losing all the money that he have for this product, and they're not gonna get replenished for that.
Well, maybe not, but you know what he's doing? He's saving his customer base.
No, but then he also break the rule of discounting more than what he can. And now he can potentially lose the brand.
Well, I'd lose the brand because I could bring another brand in.
You could, or you may, or you may not. Why if it's a popular brand? Drew Estate is a popular brand. To lose Drew Estate, that's a big chunk.
Yeah, well, that may be, but I can bring in another brand, but I may not be able to bring that customer back.
No. You say I can bring another brand, but that another brand might not generate the same kind of money. right? So as a shop owner, I can see why there's not much you can do about it. It sucks. And like I say, if it's up to me, I would demand a different rep, right? But if that's the only rep around there, there's not much you can do because you still depend on that rep to bring you the news on what cigars coming out, whether or not you can get them, how much you can get, and all that stuff. Having a good rep means you can get a cigar that are hard to get. For example, Michael gets us a lot of cigars that most shop probably wouldn't get, right? For the quantity that he's getting, and still provide discounts to us, right? But at the same time, shops that doesn't have a good rep, they're at the mercy of that. And if they go against it and lose the brand, well, you got to do that every time somebody fuck you over. You're not gonna have any brand left.
Well, I will tell you this much: when this occurred, when this happened, I brought this up and I spoke to Mr. Louis Cuevas in Arizona, and Albert was there at the table and I started to talk to him, and Albert discreetly backed up and walked away. Okay. But I will tell you, and I swear to God, I really thought that I only talked to him. It felt like I talked to him for 10 minutes.
I was there. I know how long it is.
In actuality, it was probably more like 30 to 45 minutes.
It's more like an hour.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
But I will tell you this much. He was gracious. He was so nice that he listened to me. He talked to me. He explained a little bit to me. He let me talk it out, and he explained his viewpoint. And I got to tell you, I have a lot of respect for that guy because, I mean, for him, and I didn't even know who he was.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know who he was. Okay. And then, but for him, you know, to be a brand owner, to listen to me, to listen to my saga about another brand, and, you know, let me explain my thoughts, my feelings, and my frustrations, and all this other stuff. And I can honestly tell you, with the vision that I had, not once did he make a grimacing face.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he listened to me and he spoke to me, and I listened to him, and we went back and forth, you know. And after everything, all that was said and done, he must have been thirsty because he asked me if I was thirsty and if I wanted a drink, it would be on him. And I told him, no, I'm good. I'm fine. I have a drink. Don't worry about it. But I tell you what, you're a nice guy.
Definitely. I mean, majority of cigar owners, cigar brand owners, I'm pretty sure they all are nice people. And obviously, if you ask them, they'd rather sell more cigar than not, right? And they're also at the mercy of the rep, right? Because the rep goes around. If the shop owner can duplicate themselves, clone themselves, and go to every single event, they would. They would rather do it themselves, right? But they're at the mercy of the rep. And also, you say that happened 3 times?
There's just 3 events in a row.
Now, let me finish that, though.
Now, but I tell you, this situation was not with Drew Estate. It was a different brand. Okay.
But let me finish.
Okay.
For all you know, the rep could be the same person. Just like Brendan, he holds multiple different brands. That could be one same idiot that could not make it on his own schedule.
Yep.
Well, it could be, but I know that it wasn't.
Let's say if he was. Now you got to drop all 3 brands, and every other brand that he carries too.
No.
See, stuck.
No, but I will still buy that. I will still buy that brand of cigar.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like the cigar. It's a very good brand. They have very good cigars, but I will never go to their events.
Right. But the event again is for the rep to get more money. Because really, in theory speaking, okay, if you go to one of those events, you buy a budget cigar, you're not gonna buy any cigar anytime soon. As a shop owner, I lose more money the next 2 weeks.
I don't know if you lose money, you just don't make the money.
No, you pre-sold them. So that means my shop is gonna have less people coming in for the next 2 weeks.
Okay, I see that.
Right? So it's really not that
Yeah.
beneficial to run events, but you have to run the events because that's when they promote it. They educate the smokers about cigars, about new cigar, answer questions that the shop might not know already. So you'll depend on them. And if they screwed up, you kind of have stuck because they also put order for other stuff too. And as a shop owner, you gotta say, okay, do I get rid of all the brands that they carry, have a beef with them, or I hope that my customer will understand.
I don't know. You don't have to.
You know what I'm saying? So that gets to that only few choices you have.
Yeah, I'm saying you can start. You don't have to do a. You don't have to have the guy come back for an event. If he's going to disappoint your customers, he can go do.
Well,
like
if
the
you
other
tell
people.
them never come back for an event again, you had a beef with them.
You have a beef, but that doesn't mean you have to. I mean, it can.
Well, having
be,
that beef can potentially means I'm not gonna be able to get any of the limited cigars,
well, perhaps you won't. Right,
and
that's
that hurts
fine.
my business too.
But they're not going to. But they're not going to cancel an account with you because you're not doing an event with them.
Canceling an account is a lot better than not being able to get certain cigars that you contracted for. Also, it also means I might order some cigar. I got put in the bottom of the burner. My cigars keep back order. Now my sales are being impacted.
But you certainly got put on the bottom of the burner, on the back burner, with the event too, right? So,
right, but the event doesn't happen every week.
No, it don't. No, it don't. But
so 3 incidents versus not being able to get cigars I order for a while. I choose 3 incidents.
Yeah,
not the best scenario. Val, I agree with you. It's not a best scenario.
There's
it's a horrible business way.
There's a lot of variables on this whole thing too. By the way, I mean it's not just as cut and dried as that. It's not as cut and dried as that.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of choices. In fact, they can do what Tim does: just order straight from the manufacturer and skip the rep.
Right.
But not every shop can say, you know what, I'm gonna skip the rep and I don't need to count the rep anymore. I do all the research myself. I know exactly what I need to.
Right.
Not every shop can do that.
That's true.
That's true. All right.
Very true.
All right.
But yeah, I agree with you though. Something like that happened to me, regardless whether or not it's the shop's fault, I probably will not go back to that shop again. Especially 3 times. If I complain once, complain twice, and the 3 times still happen, I just like, you know what? I'm not gonna waste my time here. I want to support you, but you let us down 3 times.
Yep.
Right? Like I complained the second time, you should have done something about it by the second time. You should have told the guys that unless you know you gotta be here, don't. Right? Or just leave the product here. You don't have to be here. Get the product here. Even if you're not here, I'm still gonna run the event.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but then again, it has to do with what the shop or the shop owners are capable of.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if it's me, I'll contact the manufacturer. I said, this happened 3 times. This is what's gonna happen. Before I make a big decision, I want you to sell us quantity of products at the rep's event price. I'm gonna run my own event so the people can come in and buy that price. I want to make it up to my people. But not everybody will do that conversation. You know, it depends how important is it to them. For some people, it might not be important. For me, that might be important. I'll probably not lose sleep over. I'll probably lose sleep over that. So I will be like, unless you gotta sell me product at that price so that I can run the event myself to make it up to my people, I'd rather order direct, or you know, swap a rep or something like that. But again, whether or not they're willing is a different story. Because when the rep has a territory, you can't just change it.
Right.
Right. So there are some rules that they can't get around with. But is there room to negotiate? Yep. Does everybody know how to negotiate? Not so much. Just because you're a business owner does not mean you know how to negotiate and you know, chain your ball of steel and decide to give them a call and bitch at them.
It's true.
You know, if this is Brendan, he will hear 10, 15 phone calls from me, right? And he'll probably try to make it right. But not every rep will do that. But to say that this is 100% of the store's fault, probably not. Are they involved in that fault? Yes. They're the owner. They should do something about it. But what they can do, what kind of expense, how much money are they willing to lose over this to retain their customer? Different story. You know, some people just don't believe that they will lose business anyway. If in the close proximity there's not a lot of shop, I know you gotta come here either way. Right? I know you gotta come here either way. Because even if I run that event, there's no guarantee you're coming back to me.
It's true.
So, you know, as a shop owner, you just run it as is. Just like Bud Light, they lost 17%. They still go like, we're fine. Just change our advertisement. Right? So, can they run like you know, this again, it's 100 people. If that 100 people, let's say 10% left, 10 people left, I still should be within my operation, right? I just order less. I can order less. But majority of people is gonna come back. There's gotta be 10, 15 people gone. Yeah, sure. But I'd rather be able to do business with 90% of the people, or 90 people, versus piss somebody off and not being able to do business at all. Because I had a fight with the rep or something. I don't know.
Yep.
Okay.
Just saying. Like I said, I agree with the situation. I agree that, you know, the shop did it wrong. Definitely not the best way to do business. Right? And, you know, whatever brand that they're doing, I mean, some brands are very cocky. They don't care how much they sell. You know, when you're like the number one, number two most distributed brands in the US, I don't care what you know, as long as my overall amount sold to different shops is the same. Like even here as a factory, right? Even if you don't go to that shop, you go to different shops to buy it. Same thing for me, right? As a rep too,
Well, yeah,
you start buying from that shop, you buy from that shop. That's fine. It's still me.
Yeah, because you got the volume to spread around that. So.
Yeah. You so long as you keep smoking this brand, I'm gonna make money as a rep. I'm gonna make money as a factory, not so much for the store.
Right. All right.
There we go.
All right. So much for that happy note. So I want to talk about your boat trip.
Okay.
So here's what you're comparing one line with the other. One is more like a traveling hotel. One is more like a traveling resort.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of understand that, but this is what I'm a little confused with. So the one you just went on.
Okay.
So you purchase your tickets. At the time you purchase your tickets, you already know what shows they're going to have on their boat?
No.
Because how can you pre-book a show to make sure that you get to it when you go on your ride, opposed to as when you get on board, by the time you get everything done, you try to get to the show, it's sold out. You never had a chance.
If you book a suite, a Haven suite, so more expensive a room, you get to communicate with the company 30 days prior to ship, 30 days prior to boarding. And before that 30 day, you already can tell the guy, I want to book every single thing. Or you can book it yourself if you're a suite. If you're not, you don't get that priority. And keep in mind, if you're in the suite, even after you're on the board and it's booked, completely booked, sold out, you can go to concierge and they will still fit you in.
Because, I mean, it would be a bummer for me to. I mean, knowing that now is one thing, but not knowing that, and I go on that cruise line and go on that boat trip, and I'm hoping to get to see this show or that show or whatever, and it's done. It's sold out.
Keep in mind, you can still go in without being booked. However, you have to get there ahead of time, wait in line. First come, first serve.
Yeah, but it's like you said, who wants to get in line and wait an hour and a half, 2 hours?
And that is the problem with that particular cruise line.
Okay.
With Royal Caribbean, when you the suite people have their own seats already, all right, and everybody else can book the thing first thing when you go on, and the seats are released 15 minutes before the show starts. So that means you had to, if you want to see what another seat, you just had to be there 15 minutes before the show. Versus 2 hours. So that's the difference, right? A hotel with limited show, or a cruise that's meant that literally they know it's all about the show, so they have enough seats for the shows. And not to mention they have multiple runnings of that show. So if you miss one day, you can go there and book the next day.
Okay. Okay.
So that's why it's a concept that they did it poorly. Basically, they made the place too small, made the room a little bit bigger, but they made the show area very small, so that you can only fit less than 10% of the people in there. And because of that, not everybody gets to see the show unless you want to waste 2-3 hours ahead to do that. And I think they realized that. So after they make this ship, the next ship is supposed to be slightly bigger. But I don't think even that is going to resolve the issue. So that's why I recommend people, if you got to go to that cruise line, Norwegian, just book the suite. Spend the money, and you have everything taken care of for you. You're not going to miss a beat. Right? I try to give people this example, that when you're on a cruise ship, right, unless you're at the suite, you are a guest that just happened to ride the ship from point A to point B. Everything that you have access to, so is the worker on board. The difference is the worker is working, making the money, and they can only do that in their time off, and you are doing it because you're not working.
So what's the difference between a cabin and a suite?
A cabin is just a room with a bed.
Yeah, the price difference.
And the suite has the room. They have a attendant or a butler, they want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And they have their own area, and they have a concierge.
Okay, so you got a suite?
The one I just went on, I didn't.
You did not. Okay.
The one I just booked, I did.
So the one you're going on in the future, you got a suite.
I got a suite.
Okay, the one you just completed in Norwegian, you got a cabin.
Yeah.
So you got a cabin with no table.
The cabin has no table. The cabin has a table
Bar.
for you to do makeup and stuff like that. But there's no table for you to eat. So literally, if they bring in a tray of food, you put it on a freaking chair.
Bed.
You put it on a bed or on a chair, and you try to eat with it.
Yeah. Well, okay.
And the thing is that they don't want you to get the food to the room to eat. They want you to eat at their cafeteria, so it's easier to clean. Now, when I'm on Royal Caribbean, the setup is different. There is a small table. They love for you to bring the food back to eat. That's fine.
Okay, so when you went on the Caribbean, did you have a cabin or a suite?
I've done suite and junior suite and a cabin before.
Okay, so I want to get to the humidor now because you said the humidor was really good as far as aeration, filtration.
Right. There's not one time where I see smog. No.
So how was that compared to the Royal?
Royal does not have a cigar lounge.
Oh, but was it a bigger ship, a bigger boat?
It's way bigger.
Wow.
So Royal Caribbean has a bigger ship. They have more stuff on there, but they phased out their cigar lounge. So on their older ship, there's 2 ships that has cigar lounge for Royal Caribbean. They phased it out. They converted that to the suite lounge for people to hang out rather than having a smoke there, because they realized that amount of area for a small amount of people that's smoking is not worth it.
Okay, yeah. So they're looking at.
But they have a dedicated area for people to smoke on the top of the ship.
Yeah.
That
Right.
the only difference is that you're exposed to the element.
Yeah.
So if it's raining, you can't. If it's windy, you got to deal with the wind, which happens a lot on the ship. But for the lounge, you're quiet. There's guys coming in and out for drinks.
Controlled environment.
Right, right, and it's really, really nice. People have good conversation in there at night. I don't hear outside all that much. And you know, table drinks.
So,
is set up.
On one of your pictures, you showed that it was like a pretty good crowd in there. Was it like that most of the time, or
Every night's like that,
okay? And now is that lounge open 24 hours a day?
24/7. Now here's a caveat though. The bar closes I think like 11 or 12, so you can still go there at 3 a.m. but bar is not working.
But can you take your own drink in?
Yeah, but where you gotta get your drink?
Well, that's why you got your little, your little flask.
Sure. I mean, it's still, you have to get it 3-4 hours, maybe 5 hours ahead of time, put it to the side, and then just so that you can go smoke at 3 a.m.
Okay, so then you're not allowed to take any alcoholic beverages on board?
No.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
So that's the caveat. But again,
Yeah.
you don't, if you're on the ship, you're not tired by then, 11, 12 o'clock, you're done.
So suite is like, I'm looking on Expedia here,
Mm-hmm.
like $1,700 per traveler versus $400 per traveler for a cabin.
There's all the way around it. So what you can do is you can book a cabin, and then 30 days before the ship starts, you can bid. You can put more money down on top of what you already paid for a chance to get a suite. Whatever suite that's left over, you can take.
Okay.
At the suite price or whatever extra you're gonna get.
Cheaper or what?
It's cheaper.
Like how much cheaper?
Some people got it for thousands cheaper.
The reason why I say this, it's like, this is a 7-night Alaska cruise. So 7 nights for 1,700. That don't seem bad to me.
Per person, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That don't seem bad.
That doesn't seem bad. And it really depends on what kind of suite that you have, because some suite are not considered as suite. For example, junior suite is not considered as suite. You don't get the butler.
Well, this one has like, this is a little more set. This is a nice room.
So if you look at it, if you look at Norwegian, all the suite is called Haven. So if there's no word Haven in front of it, it's not. Even though the price might start at a certain point, once you click in, it's a different story.
That doesn't count your. So this gives you dining. Okay, no, it doesn't give you other shit.
And
Still
I
gotta buy
think
alcohol.
if you do the smallest suite, which is a spa suite, it comes with spa. You get to use the thermal spa for free.
See, they call it a balcony.
Now, balcony is not a suite.
Yeah.
All the suite will have the word Haven on it, and the classes starts with H. H9, HA, HB.
Well, I'm talking about this is Grand Princess is what this is.
So you'll see that the suite is a different class. On the rooms category is a different category. Even though it's under the suite, you had to find the correct one that's a suite, or it's not a suite. But it starts to add up. You know, if you think about it, a $400 cabin, 2 people is $800 versus a suite. Now you're looking at 2 people is three grand.
Yeah.
$3,200, and then you're having to pay for your.
You also have a higher gratuity.
Excursions.
You also have your gratuity is higher.
Yeah, your spa treatments.
Well, the spa balcony, the spa suite, it comes with the spa. Like you can use this thermal.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get that. I'm just saying.
So yeah, if you want everything, you want to be part of the actual guest. You're not really a guest until you stay in the suite. You're a passenger. So there's a difference between a passenger and a guest. If you get a guest, you get a totally different service. You get to utilize the entire boat or ship. Whereas when you pay the $400 cabin, you get to use about 60% of the ship. That's what you pay for. You pay 60% for 60% of the ship. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
When you are in the suite, there's a suite area just for the suite owners or the suite guests. And they have all that area to use on their own. In fact, some people who stay in the suite area never leave the suite area. Because pretty much everything is duplicated except the show.
Okay, so you said the bar closes at, let's say, midnight?
Yeah, 11-ish, 12 o'clock.
Okay, so closes at midnight. And what about food service?
You can order food service. So for suite owners, suite guests, food delivery to your room, food service are free. But if you are a guest, if you're on the regular cabin, every time they deliver food to you, it's $10. Right? So if I open a menu, I order a bunch of things, they will deliver to you, but it's $10.
$10 for them to bring it to you.
Yep, $10 fee. And that's not including what you gotta tip the person that bring it over. But if you are staying in a suite, you tip the butler in the end anyway. So it doesn't matter. You can order as many times as you want. In fact, they'll bring it to you if you just call them. You got a phone, your little phone that you can carry with. Like, before I leave the cigar lounge, like, I would like to take a bath when I get back. Go to your room and then let the water out.
You pay that service person at the end of your cruise?
Okay, so your gratuity does not include your butler's gratuity. So on average, people tip between $50 to $100 for the butler at the end.
At the end of the cruise.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they do stuff that's above everything else. They're not. They basically is a room attendant for everything else you need for the room.
I don't know. I'm thinking that should be just part of the service.
Well, you pay for that service. That's why I say if you're not in the suite, you're just a passenger. And your passenger including for your ship A to B, use the facility on the ship and food. That's basically what a hotel does, right? If you're on a hotel, you live in a room, you find food to deliver to your room, don't you pay service fee?
Yes.
Yeah. That's why I say it's like a hotel.
And it depends on the cruise as well.
Or if you go to the luxury cruise, I'm talking about luxury cruise, Every room has their own butler. Everything is taken care of by the butler. But the ship is a lot smaller. There's no passengers. There's only guests. All right, so you gotta get that concept. Once you go to a few cruises, you understand the concept that if you just take a cabin, you're a passenger that stays on there. But if you're a suite, this is why they call some of the thing owner suite, because you are the guest of the owner. So you get to use the entire ship and more. You are the actual passenger if you book the suite. If you book a cabin, you're just a passenger. You're buying your passageway from point A to point B. Your main point was the excursion, not necessarily what's on the ship. Because some ship might not have a lot of things going on either. And that's what people need to understand. So for Norwegian, they really just a hotel that moves, right? And they have some facility, they have some stuff. But if you want to be able to get into every stuff, you pay your price for it. The golf costs more money. The racetrack costs more money. The gaming room costs more money. Everything costs more money. The only thing that doesn't cost you more money is the show. And that's if you can book it. And even the attendants are different. Okay, for Norwegian, the attendant only take care of everything that they can do for your room. All right, food, you know, how you want your room arranged, drinks and all that stuff for your room. Okay. Everything else you want to book, you got to go to concierge, which is another set. They have a set concierge just for the suite owners. But if you are Royal Caribbean, you get assigned a butler that does everything. Like this butler just deals with you and is always around. All right, I've seen a group of kids being babysit by one butler, taking them from one event to another. Everything's booked. Laser tag booked. All that stuff booked. They just like they take them over there. Says, "I'll see you in half an hour." Comes back, shows up. The ladies in front of him say, "Let's go to the next thing. Let's go." And they went to the next thing. All taken care of. The parents are probably at the spa doing something else, but the kids, everything's arranged for them. They just had to say what I want to do.
Okay.
Right? In the morning, what do you like to do? I want to play basketball. They go in there and make sure there's a space for basketball.
And that's why you said on your recent trip, it was not kid friendly.
There's nothing for the kids on that ship. There's a kids area on the top, but because the weather was bad, it was all closed.
Those are the ones you want to do, man. I'm telling you now, Val. Those are the ones you want to be on.
It's a lot quieter, but there's still kids running around in the casino.
But
yeah, you did mention it.
You're not going to see as many kids because parents are onto that.
If you book suite, the suite area is 18 plus only.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm getting at is, it's like going to Great Wolf Lodge, right? Staying at a Great Wolf Lodge with just you and your spouse, or going to just a regular hotel, right? The regular hotels are going to have as many kids as the Great Wolf Lodge.
But you had to deal with everything on your own or else.
Yeah.
So different people have different kind of, thing. Like for example, the Virgin America is 18 plus ship. No kids on that ship.
Those are the best kind to be on, man. I'm telling you.
But that ship, there's another problem. All day you gotta hear people banging. Because what do you think a bunch of adults gotta do on the ship? In fact, I think if you go to the Scarlet Virgin America, every room has a drawer that has condom in it. Outside has a swing. What do you think you gotta do with that? So it depends what your preference is. What do you want to do? Do you want to go from point A to point B and just really focus on excursion? Do you just go on there to find somebody with the upside down pineapple at the door? Or, you're there just to have a family fun? That's a different story. You want a family fun with a bunch of kids? Royal Caribbean is what you want. Bunch of kids. It's all family. Right? You go to Norwegian, if you just want to spend time in the spa and then go to some show if you can, yeah, that's what you get. And then focus on excursion. All your money is spending on excursion, you can. right? You want to be a hip 20s, 30s,
Horrible.
young adult, and you know that you got to be banging a lot, and you just want to hang
Carnival.
out, then you go to Virgin America. But if you are at your age, you have disposable income, go to one of those luxury cruise ship. It's
Vikings.
totally different. Totally different. Day in and day out, you're just being serviced. What would you like to do, sir? I'd like to have a champagne and look at the thing. Oh, no problem. Everything's included.
Viking cruises, man.
So it depends on what you want to do. There are some serious expensive, like, you know, $10,000 cabin luxury cruise. The cruise is tiny. They don't have like those, like, you know, slides and stuff like that. They have good Broadway shows. They have good restaurant food and a good sightseeing spot, some small pool. But those are really for people with the older age that really don't want to hear any kids whatsoever and just want to be sitting over there, have a good drink, reading, do their own things. Yeah, they have those. But if you want fun, you want to like do kid stuff, you want to, yeah, then you go to one with kids, you know. But then you get to deal with dumb kids that, you know. And then something like Norwegian, yeah, it's not kids friendly, but people will bring their baby up, and then the baby's just gonna be crying.
That's the one Albert wants.
Yeah, that's why I like that.
Right, so that's just that, you know. It's really one of those things that unless you go to a various different ones, you really don't see that. But once you go and then go to try different class of the cabins they have, you realize that there's a huge difference. Right? Like this is why, like if I'm gonna take my parents to Alaska, I just book all the suites. I don't want to deal with anything. And when I get on a suite, I was like, okay, whatever they want, you just give it to them. That's it. Right?
Okay.
Before the show starts, you take them to the show, and I'll go pick them up at the end of the show. You gotta pay to play.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
I feel like that review is excessively long, like way too long for anybody to watch. So.
No, I watched the whole thing. It was informative. That's why I needed to ask a couple of questions on it now. So that's pretty good.
Yeah. Once I go on the Alaska one, I'll put another one up just based on, you know, how their havens are, because there is a form just on the suite questions, and that thing is 2 different threads. I believe 70 pages long each. People just asking the same question. So I think once I go there, I don't want to give people like wrong information. I'll go there, experience, and come back and put all the information together again. And I think that one will be my last cruise for a while. Because I think that COVID, everything's over. I gotta start traveling again for my work. So that part of it will be gone. That will be the last one. But, you know, after that, we'll do videos about traveling to Germany, taking the train from Germany to Paris, that kind of stuff. I don't know. So that's what my wife want to do. She want to go to Germany. She want to go to Paris. She want to go to the racetrack in Germany. So I probably had to see if Mercedes-Benz have any of the events during the time we go.
Make sure she goes to the Broadhouse.
What's in
Yeah.
there?
Brats.
You won't find a brat.
I had to figure out how we're gonna do that trip because, like, you know, I don't know the area, and obviously I have language barrier for sure. So I had to figure out how to, like, I don't know how to get around places.
Google.
Well, you can Google. Doesn't mean, you know, the train thing from one place to another. It's not. It's very complicated.
It's pretty good actually.
But do you know, like, how, like, what train should I take from Frankfurt to Paris?
They'll tell you. You go there, you talk to them. They'll be there.
I looked at the video, and like, there's 4 different stations,
Yeah, I know.
and that 4 different station, they all go to different places.
I know.
and there are
But-
4 different areas. So
But you go, but there are people that help you, man. Trust me, they're gonna help you in English.
well, yeah, from Germany, yes. From Paris, not so much.
Yeah, they'll help you, dude. They'll help you.
Based on the reviews I watched, their English are very limited, and they don't really want to talk to you in English in France.
They know more.
In France.
They know more English than they put on, but still, they're gonna try to help you out. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
So yeah, that's one of the things that I'm concerned with. But then I still got a year and a half, 2 years to deal with that. So
Yeah, you can plan for it too.
yeah.
You can planning and
So we'll go over there. We'll do the Legion hangout for a couple of days. I'll do a racetrack for a day, and then we'll go to Paris for another 2-3 days, and then fly back.
That'd be fun.
Sounds like a big trip, though. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, we're way over. So that's it for tonight. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Have a good night, guys.
All right. Anybody gets a chance, jump in a hangout when you can.
That's right. Go to Hangout, Discord.
All right.